Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting off with the 144,000, which should be the ruling governing body in the kingdom of heaven, which should be all men. Also to a lot of the 1/3 here in America, which would be men, women, and children, which the 144,000 is the creme de la creme of 140 of the 1/3. Salakia. 2/3 of all people will be destroyed here in America. Babylon the Great. You also have the rebels that are scattered abroad in different countries that will be destroyed, and you have some elect that scattered abroad that will be saved, who the world ignorantly and willingly calls black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, most of the Panamanians, Cubans. Right, we are the Israelites, contrary to what people want to believe. I am your brother Yerumia, coming back here to another lesson. I'm about this No Kings protest. Man, you got a lot of things going on. You know, hey, things are happening and things is speeding up, you know. Hey, we at that time of anything can happen at any moment, man. So that's why you got to keep your head on a swivel, man. Spiritually, you got to be paying attention, man. You know. Let me get 2 Esdras 9 and verse 1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." Right? It says, "Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." Right? We see earthquakes and we see uproars in this situation, right? You know, these large protests, large gatherings of people. You know, a lot of these things might be psyops. You know, I think they are. You know, because with all the stuff going on with these different wars and Iran and all that, and the cost of fuel going up and oil and everything else, you know, coming to play, being affected, people ain't mad enough, man. You know, so I definitely believe this. It has a specific name to it. No Kings protest. It sounds like it's set up. You know, I remember they had this last summer, I believe. I did a video and I remember. And they have this thing in different cities. You know, not just Louisville. It was in different cities. You know, so it's definitely set up, man. You know, that's why it's imperative that you be in tune with your Habashim Shai, man, because things can happen at any time, and hey, you don't want to be out and about amongst these people, or you know, out just so-called just you know, living life all the time. Hey, stay in the house, man, if you can, man. You know, and avoid large crowds and all these different things, man, because I believe a lot of these things are gonna go down, and you know, 2/3 of our people, they're gonna be caught up in these things, man, and they're gonna be a part of it, and they're gonna, you know, get taken to jail, get taken to a FC camp, and you know, tagged. Who knows, man? You know, who knows? Right? It's gonna be a repeat of 2020, but times 100. It's gonna be way worse than that. You know, people was setting trash cans on fire. Then they was breaking into businesses and stuff. But this is gonna be way worse than that. Hey, we in a time to where there ain't gonna be no food. They're gonna bring out martial law troops. They didn't have that really going on in 2020. Not really. You got sleeper cells. You got all types of different things happening. So this is definitely a psyop. This is definitely the way to track who's doing what and who's who. You know, because they know our people are fucking slow and they're fucking spiritually dumb. You know, Esau knows this, man. You know, but this ain't your fight, man. You know, this ain't your fight. But we know a lot of our people, they are gonna fight with Esau, and you know they're gonna go down with him. Let me get Isaiah real quick. Isaiah 13 and 15, it says, "Everyone that is found should be thrust through, and everyone that's joined unto them should be fall by the sword." You see? So if you join unto these other nations, man, and you connected to them, right, you hanging around them, you know, you involved in their festivities, well, don't get surprised. You know, if you get caught up in that madness, man. We just had me and the brother was talking about it at camp. Not this past camp, but I think last week or the week before, you had this damn what's that parade? The Irish Day parade or something, or St. Patrick's Day parade, you know? Now this ain't a parade. This is an actual protest. But the point is, it was a large group of people, and you had a damn Edomite. They perished, man. You know, a lot of people about to start perishing, man. They gonna bring out the sword at these damn big, large gatherings and stuff like that. And these things happen. You know, they've been happening for a long time throughout Babylon, where you got a large group of people. There's always somebody, you know, getting shot and dying. But it's about to be a lot worse, you know. But we are in a time where people are tired of stuff, and they understand that a lot of things are bullshit, and they don't like dealing with it. So, you know, it is at that point to where people are actually mad, but it's gonna get to the point to where people are gonna actually start shooting back at police officers and these troops and stuff like that, wherever they at. It's gonna get to that point. And they're gonna start using tanks and drones and bombs. You know, these things are gonna come into play, man. So this is definitely a setup, I believe, you know, to get people to rise up, you know. Because people see what's going on, but they're not really doing anything. It's protesting, they're going to do anything. You think Esau cares about that? How many times has Jake protested about their rights and not having a way in this kingdom? It didn't do anything. How much more, why would he care about how his own people protested? Because it's a lot of Edomites in that No Kings protest stuff. But let me get this in 2nd Esdras 15 real quick. 15 and 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein," which means death and destruction. "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh," right? "And one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands." And that sword, the modern day sword, is the gun, man. Everybody here in America got guns, man. The majority of people, right? How much more of these police officers, troops, right? These sleeper cells out here, you know, got weapons that you can't even pronounce, that you can't even fathom. Right? It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Hence, no kings protest." Right? Because this man, Donald Trump, he's like a king right now. The shit that he's been doing since he's been in office, he been going crazy, man. You know, he definitely that cruel Lord, like it says in the book of Isaiah. I'm going to get that too. Right? It says, "A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able." They about to do, you know, energy lockdowns, you know. It's definitely going to be 2020 times 100, man. It's going to be way worse. That was just a test run. You know, we believe this is going to be the real thing when they shut this thing down for this time. Right? But people are going to fight back because people ain't going to want to do this shit again, man. But they're going to be scared at the same time. It's going to be a lot going on. It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Right? It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of breaking great tribulation." You see, there's going to be a famine too. How much more people are going to be, you know, people are going to be rioting. You know, probably not with actual pitchforks, but hey, they're going to have guns in their hand. They're going to be like, "Hey, I'm going to give me some food, or I'm going to shoot or do what I have to do to defend my family and feed my family." That's what times we're in, man. You know, that's what times we're in. I got a couple of videos I'm gonna play.
Really got a lot of patience, bro. Shit, give me
one. But let me see if I can find one. No Kings protests were scheduled in almost 40 Kentucky towns, large and small, Saturday. Yeah, these things are definitely psyops, man. You know, because who's backing this, right? How are they organized like that? You know, it's definitely backed by Esau Edom. Let me see. Let me find this video.
KS11's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Connie Offit take us there, where people tell us what brought them out today. People from across the Louisville metro area from all ages and backgrounds are coming together to protest the actions by the Trump administration. Protesters filled Jefferson Square Park and spilled into the street facing Metro Hall during the latest No King's Day protest. One of many issues showing up on homemade signs were of the Iran war, and it was top of mind for Tanya Gravitt.
Why are we there? If they got $200 billion to spend on the war, how come people can't have subsidies for their health care?
Jefferson County's...
Hey, you see how they got this E, man. Hey, you Jakes are the main target, man. You know, in these times to come, man. You know, that's why it's called Jacob's Trouble. But yeah, all the other different nations, they're going to be affected too. But you Jakes are the main target. That's funny how they had an Eve speaking, you know, and talking, right? When people are mad, you know, you go on a lot of videos and you go to the comments, people understand that this man is full of shit, man. His own people understand that. So, like I said, you know, not what I said, but like the scriptures say, it will get to that point to where they're not gonna regard their kings nor princes. You know, even though I believe this one, the title that it has, I believe it's set up. But it's gonna get to the point where people are gonna actually start fighting back and you know, dying for what they believe in, man. You got a lot of people who are retired Marines or Army people who are really ready to defend their rights and defend the Constitution and all these different things, man. You know, people ain't going for that. This is Esau's last hoorah. And this devil, he gonna pull out all the stuff he got to prove who he is, man. And to show who he is. But let him do it, Jake. Let him do it. You know, we always tell you, Jakes, man, they say it's your fight, but we know our people that's not in the truth, they're gonna fight for this system. They're gonna, you know, fight to keep it going. Well, we're not trying to keep it going, man. This ain't our rest. Right? Let me get what's it, Micah 2 and verse 10. Right? It says, arise and ye depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with the sword of destruction. You see? You know, as long as we hear, man, it's always, you know, temptation, Satan, you know, attacking you. We around these damn devils, these damn Edomites and these other heathen. You know, hey, just let it fall, man. Let it burn. You know, it's going to happen anyway, whether you like it or not anyway. So, hey, just let it happen. You know, let these Edomites be divided amongst each other. Let them, you know, talk their shit and go at it and kill each other, man. Let them do them, you know. But, you know, like I said, Jake ain't gonna listen, man. Jake ain't gonna listen. Your dumbass, y'all dumbasses is gonna go right along with it, you know. Be as sheep led to the slaughter, you know. But let me get this in I guess it's Mark 3. Mark 3 and verse 26, it says, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but half an end. You see? And this man is Satan, man, and they are definitely divided, man. Like I said, with everybody knowing, understanding what's going on with these wars, understanding that it's benefiting them, it's gonna start turning violent. And they already set up, I think, for the first week of April to have troops deployed in every state when there's a large group of people. So this is all set up. You know, and we're in a time to where it's warm outside. There's gonna be more people outside. You know, when it's warm outside, you know, spirits get active. People start getting more devious and mischievous. You know, so this devil's definitely gonna come down with a great wrath, and don't expect nothing less. You know, don't expect nothing less. You know, food shortages. You know, all these things are happening. You got a new virus called cicada, man. So the Lord is turning shit up, man, in the earth, man. Right? You go to 2nd Esdras 8 and verse 50. It tells you, right, that many miseries are going to happen in these times. So 2020, it wasn't nothing, man. It was literally a walk in the park. It was a cakewalk. Right? It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them in the one at latter times that should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. You see? People have walked in great pride and have been wicked and evil, right? Doing what they want to do. But it's the time for this place to fall and for you people to be judged, you know? And there's nothing you can do about it, you know? This society collapsing, hey, it was meant to be. You know, you had your time. You know, now you have the time to fighting and to be clashing, you know, against each other, man. And we love to see it, man. You've been, you know, coming against us and depriving us for so long. Well, now the Lord's woken up his elect, and he's making things move, man. You know, we believe that the Lord got the elect sealed, man. You know, well, that's what we believe, man. That's why all these things are happening and people don't understand, right? But hey, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, man. The Lord's gonna lift up that standard for his elect. And you 2/3 that you gonna have to suffer the judgment with the heathen, and these heathen they're gonna be able to get down on you, you know. So I just wanted to do a quick video on this, man. You know, it's gonna get way worse than this, man. You ain't gonna be able to go to work soon. You ain't gonna be able to ride the bus. You know, whatever you do, however you conduct business, you ain't gonna be able to drive your car. All this shit it don't matter, man. It does not matter. You know, they're gonna set up checkpoints. You're gonna have people in militia groups. All types of things is here, man. You know, it ain't coming no more. It is here. You know, so I just want to do a quick video on this, man. Hey, stay prayed up. Hey, you know, we hoping that the Lord, you know, speeds things up even more, and that he protects us, man, because he's gonna protect his elect. You know, I'm talking to myself first and foremost. You know, Lord willing, hey, you know, we get that protection. You know. Because, hey, that's what we need, man. We can't do this by ourselves. You know, we need Yahweh shine, man. So, you know, like I said, I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Till next time, I want to say, Abba Shalom.